anything more comforting than sticky toffee pudding? I've never had it before. I will let you know, because that is what we're making today. Gordon Ramsay's sticky toffee pudding. He's got a famous recipe for this. Mushed up bananas in a sponge cake, and you drizzle on top some toffee syrup. Sticky toffee pudding. I don't know where the pudding gets involved. The reason for using the word pudding instead of dessert is actually based on the British class system. Traditionally, pudding referred to homely and rustic desserts that were commonly eaten by the lower classes, such as spotted dick and rice pudding. Sticky toffee pudding. Let's make it. Over here. First up, we gotta make our sponge cake. We need ingredients. Brown sugar, all-purpose flour, butter, 1 egg, baking powder, and a banana. Ideally, this would be more ripe than this, but that's the best I can. It still has green on it. That's the best I could find. Now I'm feeling really good about this recipe today. It's just like a page long. It seems pretty simple. I may be getting ahead of myself, but I'm just pumped up about that. I got butter on my hands. So what we're gonna do is mix all this together. You're gonna need your favorite bowl. And what we're gonna do is cream together our butter and our sugar. Scrape down the sides of your bowl. Oh, my coffee. Drink your coffee. Now, once you've creamed that together, add an egg. Woo! Now, this recipe has nothing to say about how long you're doing what steps, so I'm just gonna have to use my intuition at this point, which is fine. It's getting better each day, but I'm still not there yet. But I'll figure it out. I'm sure I can figure this out. We gotta mash our banana. Now, I don't really know why I'm cutting it right now. Why am I cutting this? I'm just gonna mash this banana up. It's the best way to do that. With this. Squashed banana. I'm gonna add my flour and my baking powder in with the banana and give it a mix. And I'm gently gonna fold that into my big bowl. That wasn't really gentle. I might just give it a quick mix. Now with a baking tray, buttered of course. Butter up that baking tray. This works pretty well. This is just the packaging of the butter with the leftover butter, and this works like a dream. Woo! I really hope that this cake rises, because it doesn't look like a lot right now. Just make sure that you flatten out the top of this cake. It's actually looking like a decent size now. Into the oven. What the hell am I doing? Get that out of there. So we're gonna bake that initially at 190 degrees Celsius for
10 minutes and counting.
Then you turn the oven down to 150 degrees Celsius and you let that hang out in there for an hour. An hour seems like a long time.
Your timer is set for 1 hour.
I'll just be straight up honest with you. Having a cake in the oven for like an hour is making me nervous. It really is. The whole idea is to stick this toothpick in here. It came out clean. I'm taking this cake out. Now instead of an hour, I had that in for 50 minutes, plus the additional 10 minutes. In total, an hour. In total, an hour. Not an hour and 10, like his recipe said. Now I'm like looking at this cake and I was following the recipe and I had faith in the recipe. I'm looking at this now and I could have taken it out earlier. I know I could have and I chose not to. So, oh, God damn it. You live and you learn by time. Now we are on to the toffee syrup. Home stretch, baby. Butter, castor sugar, dark syrup. Now this is a British recipe, so whatever dark syrup is, I wasn't even gonna attempt to look for it. It's a thing, it's a thing. So I'm just gonna use honey. And I gotta make whipped cream. Heavy cream, vanilla, more sugar. A cup of heavy cream, just whatever vanilla I got there. A little dash of sugar. Makes the medicine go down, makes the medicine. And I'm just gonna whip this up until we've reached stiff peaks, people. Put this in the fridge until we need it. Pot, add the sugar, butter, and the honey. We gotta bring this to a boil over at the stove. Hey, my coffee. And we're just bringing this to a boil. Now this doesn't have the dark consistency I was going for, probably because I'm not using the same ingredients as Gordon. I went with the honey, he went with a dark syrup, which would explain why it's dark. But I tasted it, and it tastes like toffee. I'm gonna add half a cup of cream into this sauce, apparently. That's what it says, that's what the recipe says. Who am I to say otherwise? He's a Michelin star chef, and I'm just gonna fold that in. I don't know. What have I done? What have I done? That does not seem right. What have I done? Why did I add the cream into the sauce? His recipe says that. His recipe says, add the cream and pass through a fine sieve. Why is his recipe so brief? He must mean add the cream onto the plate. I'm just reading other sticky toffee sauce recipes. This recipe I'm reading here says add the cream while it's on the stove. So maybe that's all I have to do. I don't really know what the point of adding that cream was, but I think I brought it back to life. Let's go with that. No. This is rock solid on the edges. The cake, I knew not to have the cake in the oven for an hour. Like, that's a ridiculous amount of time. Okay, it might work if I use the middle. So this is an emergency. So what I gotta do is cut out the good parts of this cake. Make sure, guys, to just believe in yourself next time. Don't trust the recipe. Just do what feels right sometimes. Sometimes baking is instinctual. You have to know when to take the cake out of the oven. This is what I'm left with. Cake that is usable. My toffee sauce, which is hardening up by the second. And whipped cream, which I have absolutely no idea why I made this. Let's pretty up this pig. Which is the best one. Syrup on top of the cake. No dancing today. No dancing. Very delicious. I can't imagine how much better it would have been if the cake wasn't so damn dry, but if you're gonna follow along to Gordon Ramsay's sticky toffee pudding recipe, make sure to divide that time in the oven in half. Maybe there's more to the recipe than meets the eye. Maybe there's something that I'm missing, but other than that, like syrup, everything else was really good though. Okay guys, that is all I got today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you to my patrons for supporting the show. That is awesome. I will see you guys soon.